Thanks for Fast Food for Mutants for warming us up. The Fire We Breathe for that snazzy intro, as usual. Man, we have got Foxxear is in the house. Connor, man, I can't wait to talk to this guy again on the air.
Yes, I can't wait for you all to hear him.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute, but what a talented artist, and I'm happy to play some music by Foxxear tonight. And Princess is what we're going to start off with. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, I do. So let me get over here to my notes because I'm somewhat unorganized this evening. I'm reading off of my screen tonight. So we're going to play Foxxear, Princess, as Cinco said. So Connor Fox is an independent music artist drawing inspiration from punk, pop punk, rock, alternative, post-hardcore, and more. This is a solo project for Connor. I checked out his personal YouTube channel, and he says, I'm a filmmaker and musician. I release original music as Foxxear, but I'm probably better known as the co-runner cinematographer for Jet Cuso YouTube channel, or for my guitar covers as Hardly Ramone. I do a lot of stuff, though. I think he's a very talented young man. And you definitely, if you have, because the second song we're going to play is already out, and he has got a video for that one. And it's very cool. You go down there and you read the comments on YouTube, and it's under, I think it's under Connor Fox. I can't remember, but maybe he'll post it in Discord for us.
Yeah,
maybe he can post his YouTube channel in there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he's got he talks about his the video and what he does and that kind of a thing. So he's a really cool young man. So right now we are going to enjoy Princess by Foxxear, and after we come back, we're going to be talking with Connor Fox, the man himself.
Here we go. Oh man, I knew that one would have Tim running through the sheetrock.
That one, that's such. such an awesome song, man. Princess.
Holy moly. Yeah, that change up there about the last third of the song really gets you, man.
Yes, very much so.
Well,
very,
let's
very,
bring the
very
man
much so.
himself in here. He should already be good. Hey, Connor, are you there, buddy?
Hi, I'm here.
Yes, he is.
Yes,
there he is. Hey, Connor.
Hello.
Oh, man. Welcome to On the Air tonight, man. Appreciate you taking the time
you.
to come hang out with us. You know, it's a real honor and pleasure to have you on, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for bringing me on. It's very exciting, actually.
There's that voice, man. Lisa and I, after we did our little test today, I said...
He's going to say it.
Yeah,
He's
Connor's got a sexy voice,
Oh, my.
Oh, thank you. I've heard that before.
We were both
so
like,
I wish I could say it was surprising.
I had to fan myself.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait. I'm sure Tim is calling for Corm, and he's about to pass out. And, oh, man. Yeah, well,
thank you.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Princess, man. What a kick-ass song. I want to say I hear a little punk influence in there, but I know
it's definitely punk influenced. I think you could almost call punk my main influence, because my favorite band, like since I was a teenager, has always been the Ramones. So
yeah.
I'm coming from as far back as you can go with that sort of thing.
So that's what you were talking about, or when I read that about Hardly Ramone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a channel where I've been doing guitar covers for basically just Ramone songs for a long time.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Cool, man.
But yeah, Princess, that one was interesting to write because that was basically, I had just heard a song that I really liked on the radio. And I basically, this is an interesting writing process to explain.
All right.
I heard a song and it had really cool drums. And I thought, you really can't have a song that sounds this exciting without drums that are that exciting. So what if I wrote a song starting with drums that would be for an exciting song? So I sat down on the drums and I literally improvised the entire thing. Like, this would be a cool drum part for a cool song. And then I wrote everything after that. So then I picked chords and wrote chords, and then I wrote vocals and everything. But it's the only song I've ever written starting with the drums.
Starting with the drums. Man, that is far out. So you built the whole song around drums. Incredible.
I did. It's specifically that one. It's only time I've ever done that.
I think that's pretty unusual in the process as well. That's...
I guess that probably happens sometimes, like when you get a band in a room and the drummer's playing like a really cool beat, maybe sometimes that inspires something. But in terms of like an entire structured song, usually doesn't start with the drums.
Yeah, the next time I listen to that, I'm going to have to keep that in mind. I didn't know that, so I'm going to have to really pay attention to that and listen for that detail.
Yeah, I genuinely think that, in my opinion, the drums have to support the song in a sense. It's kind of one thing, like whatever the vocals and the guitars are doing, the drums have to fit along with it. So my theory was, well, if the drums are really exciting, then everything else is going to have to be really exciting too, because it's kind of one thing. And I feel like it worked, actually. I really like that song. I
would say it does. And yeah, that's an interesting perspective. And I'm going to keep that in mind. I mean, that's a good way to look at it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
I should probably try it again sometime, but I haven't.
Maybe.
But I will, I guess, sometime.
And you're liable to hear some of the guys here in the chat say, "Shit, I'm going to try that."
Oh yeah,
giving ideas.
Did that have any challenges? Was it any more difficult than the conventional way? I mean,
I would say that it was not hard for me to write the guitar part because I had a set of chords that I liked that I wanted to make a song with already. That had this kind of cool epic feel to them. So I kind of knew going in, I'm like, well, I'll probably do something with those specific chords. But after that, I would say what was challenging was the vocals and finding a vocal melody that's good later. Because sometimes when you want to write a really good song, you start with the vocal melody and you're like, this is going to be something people love to hear. This is catchy and it gets in your ears and stuff. But if you've done the whole instrumental first, it's always tricky to weave something in there that feels like it makes sense. So that was maybe the hardest part about doing it that way.
Okay. Getting the vocal melody down to match the rest of the song.
Yeah, because a lot of my songs start with the vocal melody, or at least the chord progression, one or the other.
All right. I'm making notes. That's That's cool, man. That's I've
Well,
never heard that.
you don't have to write a song that way yourself, but it works, I guess.
Go ahead, Lisa. You got something for Connor?
Yeah, so I want to know, Connor, what do you do outside of music, or is music your full-time job?
Music is not my full-time job. Foxxear, I basically started that because I've been doing music as a hobby for a long time. Like, I first started messing with music in 2010 with like GarageBand and stuff. And then I started playing drums in 2011, then guitar in 2012, and then I started trying to sing in 2013. So I guess it's like a little timeline there.
Oh, wow.
But that's how long I've been trying to do all that stuff. And I've just been writing everything privately. I've never put anything out just myself of my own songs. So I finally decided I should probably try to release this stuff, because my primary career is filmmaking. I work as a cinematographer, and I co-run a independent video production company. So that's what I'm usually doing.
Nice.
It's actually making it hard to do the music thing. It would be easier to make more songs faster if I didn't.
Yeah,
have
and
a different job.
I know that you mentioned we were trying to get something. You were trying to get something new to send to us for tonight, and it just got in the way.
I was hoping. It's been a real busy month, unfortunately.
That's a good thing for you, but that also means that we have something to look forward to.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that you're looking forward to it.
So yeah, when
I like the song that I'm working on. I think it's good.
Well, and when I first got your email and all that, I was blown away. So you're amazing. You have a great future ahead of you as a musician as well.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm very curious where it'll go.
Well, we're curious to see
I really
where
have
it
no
goes.
sense.
Yeah. I caught
If it ever picks up enough, I guess that'll become my primary career. But it would have to go pretty far, I think, for it to be that.
I could tell you've got some filmmaking experience from the video.
Oh, definitely.
For Unrelated.
Oh yeah,
It's such a good video.
Yeah, that was very hard to make by myself. I don't even think anyone makes a music video like that by themselves without anyone helping, without at least somebody to like hold the camera or help set up the shots or something.
And I saw that you said that in the comment section down there of the video, and I was just like, I can't believe he did all of this himself. That's amazing.
I did,
and it turned out great.
I appreciate that.
Turned out so great.
It's definitely not normal. That is not the normal process. I have worked on like sets with a big crew and stuff, and I know how this stuff is supposed to go. So I mean, maybe because of that perspective, I'm able to make something by myself. But it also felt really silly running around my living room like wearing 50 hats and being like, this is not something I should be doing by myself. But at least I know what it's supposed to be like to do it.
Did you talk to yourself like, cut? Okay, look, I've got to do better on that one. Let's try a different angle.
I'm giving myself direction in between takes and everything.
That's funny.
Yeah, I saw some of that stuff. So I checked out your Reddit page, and
oh yeah,
I was going through that. So I saw some of your gaming comments as well as some of your music, hints and tips and camera advice and all that stuff. I'm like, holy smokes!
I've got a bad habit lately of posting on Reddit on the singing board and trying to give people tips with like singing stuff, because for the record, I was not a natural singer. Like going back to 2013, like I said, I'd kind of started making music, and I thought, okay, well, I'll make some songs, I'll write the vocals, and then I'll just sing. And I don't know why I thought I was going to be able to do that, because I couldn't sing at all. So I've been trying to train myself to sing for like 10 years. So I know that you can come from absolutely nowhere and take that all the way. So sometimes I see people on Reddit that are like struggling with something, and I remember getting around that obstacle, and I'm just like, look, all you got to do, you just got to work on this and do this. And I don't know. I probably need to stop doing that so much.
I don't know. It seemed like you were helping people. You had a lot of dialogue going on.
Yeah, I made a post just recently that got really popular. More than a lot of stuff in that singing subreddit. It was just explaining one of the fundamental techniques that kind of unlocks a lot for any singer is a technique called mixed voice, so that you can sort of connect your normal speaking register with that really high, that la 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 la, that sort of Mickey Mouse kind of register. Mixed voice is a technique to kind of connect those together into one voice. And that's how you get those singers, like those iconic singers like Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant, and Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. Those guys knew how to go all the way up into their head voice with the mixed voice technique. And that's something that pretty much everybody seems to want to be able to do, but people have a hard time understanding it. So I was like, I'm just going to make a post and try to explain how I got this to make sense for myself, because I feel like more people should be able to do this and they just don't know what it takes, I guess.
Incredible. Yeah, I saw some of that post. I was reading some of that today, as a matter of fact, and like, wow, yeah. You're talking about a lot of theory I have no idea about. So I actually learned a lot from it.
Well, the funny thing about teaching yourself to sing is it's not linear, because you can't teach yourself to sing until you know how to teach someone else to sing, if that makes sense. So I've had to build a very technical understanding of singing, almost to the point that I could tell anyone what they have to do to become a good singer, so that I can tell myself what to do to become a good singer, which has been really annoying. kind of a two-step process, in my opinion.
Okay.
Well, I want to know, Connor, do you ever plan on performing live, or have you performed live yet as Foxxear?
Well, not as Foxxear. I mean, I am the drummer for a band called Bad Analogy, which you're familiar with them, I think.
We've heard of them.
Yeah, I'm in there. But no, I have not performed as Foxxear. I think if I was ever going to do that, to me, that would be a situation where I would have to be popular enough that I had a budget to hire a live band that I thought was going to do the material really well, and then go play some really good shows. I would do that if there was money for it.
Yeah, because you want to make sure that whoever it is that's playing for you and and with you is doing your music justice up to
I guess so. Yeah.
Up to par, and the way that you want it played and to be heard and everything. You want to be proud of what's getting out into the ears.
Absolutely. But I would also enjoy the thought that it's maybe like platforming some really good musicians who deserve to be doing something popular. And maybe that could be a jumping off point, because I don't know how long I would do it if I was even going to do that.
That would be awesome. You need to look at coming to Punk in the Corn next October. Tim of EWL has got that going on, and it's like 20. Was it 40 bands?
40 bands.
40 bands, 2 days. He's had to move it to a bigger venue, so that's what we're doing next October. So he might, if he gets in here for the "I Mustache You A Question" segment, we'll get Tim to talk a little bit more about it. But that's what we call Tim's segment of this interview.
Yeah, just brace yourself for that. Get ready.
It's coming.
All right, I'm braced.
All right, let's jump into the hypothetical here for a second. If you could time travel, Connor, but only to musical events, which one would you pick?
I think I would go to the Ramones' 1977 performance at the Rainbow Theatre in London, New Year's Eve, going into 1978. There's video of that performance, and it's like a big iconic performance for the Ramones when they were right at their peak. With the original lineup, and that's absolutely where I would go. And I know it's a good show because I've seen a video of it, but I would lose my mind seeing it in person. So that's where I would go.
Wow, you did not take any time. You had zero hesitation on knowing that.
He knew.
There's a man knows how to make decisions.
Everyone should know that. What are you doing if you don't have the answer to that question in the back of your pocket?
That's true. I think if I had to pick one, I'd probably go see The Cure at Wembley.
Oh, okay. Well, see, there you go. You're doing great. You got it all back there.
I don't have an answer for that one, so I need to work
Lisa's
on that.
I'm
gonna have to work on that one.
It's gonna be essential because moments like this one happen at least once.
You know what?
So we got to be ready for it.
I think I know which where I'd want to which one I'd want to go see, and that would be, and David is going to love my answer here. So,
don't say New Kids on the Block.
No, I'm going to say the Depeche Mode 101 tour.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a
well,
good
that didn't take too long.
Yeah.
It just took me a second, but then it's like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and Ray's Head. It just popped in there.
Right. See, well, now you've got that forever. So.
And I will always remember that. Thank you for pushing that out of my brain.
Yeah, it's essential. Anyone listening to this right now, if you haven't decided where you would go, you got to decide, because one day Dave's gonna ask you, and
exactly.
you don't want to be like, You got to be ready.
All right, Lisa, give Tim the signal. Give the mustache signal. Turn it on, and we'll get him in there.
Uh-oh.
All right. So here's another hypothetical one for you, Connor. If you had like one guilty pleasure song, like one maybe you didn't want everybody to know that you liked, but you play it in secret,
A
Is there
guilty
one?
pleasure song.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting because I don't even know if I fully endorse guilty pleasures. I think that I think people should be open about what they enjoy as much as they can be. I don't think there's much you can be guilty for enjoying
So
personally.
Okay. Well, that's a great answer, and there's no judgment, but maybe like, oh man.
Unless I guess you're murdering people. If that's your guilty pleasure, like okay, you're guilty. Like go to jail.
Yeah, that's.
But I guess yeah. I mean, I'll try to put myself in that mindset of what should I feel bad about listening to.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? I feel like I've got a pretty good answer for what people would say is embarrassing.
Okay.
There's a song that I just recently that I've heard. It comes from a like Chinese gacha game that my girlfriend plays it, and she sent it to me, and it's this really girly song with this like really high pitched vocal and this kind of like smooth jazz like dance beat, and it's just really frilly and flowery, and it's about having like a crush on a boy. So I feel like that's something that someone like me is supposed to be embarrassed for listening to, but I'll listen to it all day. It's so good.
Right on, man. I like your attitude. I love it.
I think that's a great song.
All right, I'm gonna have to look for it so I can enjoy it too. All right, I see
Sure,
Tim is
I'll
in
send
here.
it to you.
Yeah, there you
Yes,
go. Yeah, send it
please
to us.
do.
We'll rock out to it. Tim's in here. Brace yourself, Connor.
Hello.
Go ahead. Tim,
Unmute
and
yourself
unmute your
there,
mic.
Mr. Mustache Man.
There you go, Mustache You.
Hello.
Hello.
How are
Hello.
you guys doing, man?
We're doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. You guys are killing it tonight, man. I'm loving the music so far from Connor Fox over there.
Thank
Holy
you.
shit, dude. You know, your voice is as smooth as my anus. You know, it's fantastic.
That's Tim. That's not necessarily a compliment because I don't know how smooth your anus is.
Oh, it's as smooth as silk, my friend.
Okay, well then thank you
smooth.
very much. I
But,
appreciate
you know,
it then.
Connor, why did you get into music, man? And when was the first time you heard a band that you like absolutely fell in love with and die hard fell in love with? You know, you listened to the album front to back and you're like, this is fucking perfection. What album is that?
I feel like sadly we're repeatedly ending up in the same place. I think the first album that I really felt like that about was the Ramones' first album. But I can at least say
so the
there's a bit more
Ramones.
story to how I got to that point, which is that when I was like a really little kid, I really liked the song Blitzkrieg Bop, you know, the Hey Ho, Let's Go one.
Yeah.
And eventually I got I was listening to the Greatest Hits CD because my dad had that one. And I liked that. So then eventually I reached the point where I just saw the first album at I think it's a store that's gone now called Borders Books. I think they've closed those.
Oh, I remember
But that's where
Borders.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a good one.
So the Ramones.
What a shame.
Why,
Yeah, but that's where I got
the
their first
Ramones
album.
out of all the punk bands, you know, that were currently going on, you know, I imagine you sound a little younger, so maybe you're not like a fucking wizard, but you know what I mean. So
Sure.
you know, so
Like
during that
mid-20s.
time, well, yeah, okay, so yeah, so even during that time period, you know, you had other bands, Black Flag, The Descendants.
Oh sure.
You even had like some of the more heavier metal bands like Motorhead and things like that. But what gravitated you towards that interesting, you know, voice, you know, Mark, Dee, all of them, you know, what gravitated you towards that instead of the other bands?
It's hard to say why any of us sort of like the sound of a certain thing. But like I said, I really liked Blitzkrieg Bop when I was a kid. And I think something about the guitar in that band, it just sort of overwhelms everything because it's this droning sort of harmonic assault that fills everything up. And I really love that. And I try to put that in my own music as much as I can.
Yeah.
And then I like the melodies. I think a lot of the stuff is catchy. I like Joey Ramone's vocal style. He sang a really interesting way that was memorable. People try to make fun of it, and they're like, oh, he can't sing. But you can't deny that the way he sang songs was interesting, and I also really love that.
It's unique, man. All the other bands are just screaming into a fucking microphone, and then you got this guy who's, you know, singing with some harmonies and shit in the background, and the performance that they brought was just fucking legendary. I mean, I think what sealed the deal was seeing videos of them live and seeing how exciting they were on stage. And I think that was the point. I was like, okay, forgive any mistakes these guys ever make on stage, like
instrument wise, because they're putting on such a show that's so exciting and so fun.
Fucking ain't right,
And,
man. I agree.
yeah.
And if you think, as far as this scene goes, you're in the other band too, Bad Analogy. I've given you guys a review. I put my head to the drywall to your tune for sure. With this scene, with this community is fucking huge, man. I mean, all this music on OTAT tonight it's all gonna be fucking legendary. But they play so many artists. But in this scene, what do you think is missing right now, if anything?
What do I think is missing from the indie music scene?
What do you think would elevate this scene to the next level? As far what do you think is missing for all of us to get on the map?
Well, obviously, anything I could say is gonna apply a varying amount, or not at all, depending on who you're talking to specifically.
You sound like a smart fucker, man. I'm gonna say that too. God damn.
Correct.
You're being you're being so respectful, and goddamn, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tim. I appreciate you and your anus.
Connor, Wikipedia Fox. I fucking dig it.
But to answer your question, I think the main thing that's important is when you're making music, or any art for that matter, is to not get stuck worrying about what someone else has already done and trying to make sure that you're fitting closely enough to what they did, because you feel like that's going to make sure that other people like it. If you want to chase something because you like that sound, go for it. But I find a lot of times when you're really creating something, you have those moments where you have a more interesting idea, and there's like a voice in your head that's like, no, you can't do that, because that's not what usually happens. But you have to ignore it, I think, and you have to say, no, I like it, and I think it's going to be good for this reason, and I believe in it. So forget it that no one's done it before. That's what I'm going to do. And I think if people were really, really good about doing that, I think more things would have a unique quality that would make them memorable and would make you go, wow, that's something interesting. I got to hear that again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, and I dig that. I dig that answer. And you played live. You said have you played live? I didn't quite hear because I was ingesting something. So have you played live with Foxxear before?
No, because I mean, Foxxear, it's just me. I play the drums, like I have a drum kit, and I play the guitar, and I sing, and I technically play the bass. But sometimes, this is a secret, so listen closely. Sometimes I record the bass part on my guitar, and then I pitch it down a whole octave and run it through a bass amp so that it sounds like I'm playing bass, but I'm not actually playing the bass at all. But sometimes I play bass.
That's
genius. For live shows.
That's genius.
There's somebody else has got to be doing that. There's no way I'm the first person to do that.
We'll just say anyway, you are, so.
Yeah, regardless, I can't go on stage and do all that at the same time, nor do I want to sort of just be like guy on stage with backing track playing. Like, I feel like no one wants to see that. So, like I said, unless I can get a live band together, I'm just probably not going to play anything live. But I would enjoy it if that is ever possible.
But what's stopping you? I mean, besides getting a band together, I mean, I got this Punk in the Corn thingy happening. It's just something, whatever, thrown together, right? Yeah, it took 2 days. So. Thinking of that, there's a couple bands, coming to this thing that are one-man bands, and I don't know, man. They have a bunch of tunes, just like I don't know how many tunes Foxxear has, but these bands are coming and they're just gonna go for it, and they'll have like a computer, they'll have their guitar,
sure, yeah,
the vocals and stuff, but. I don't know, man. I would say don't let anything stop you, man. Don't let some fucking no band, not having, band members stop you, dude. Fucking push your shit, because goddamn it, what I just heard violated my ears in all the right ways. It was fucking fantastic. So don't stop there, dude. Don't stop in the studio with the door closed. Push out that shit and get your fucking music out, dude. And definitely fucking play live. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, I appreciate the mentality here, Tim. I really do. But I guess for me, I would want what I'm doing to present a very specific way. If some people are fine just getting on stage and just singing their songs with the music playing, that's fine. Because if that works for your vision for what you're doing, that's totally fine. But I am a sucker for the band on stage experience. And
for sure.
I
There's
just
nothing like
really
it.
would want that music to be something people see and experience only that way, with like you can see the drums and you can see the guitar and there's people jumping around, and it's, I don't know, that's just how I'd want it to be. To me, the music that I'm writing is something that a band would play. So that's how I'd want to do it. And while I probably could like call up some people I know and maybe slap something together sometime, I'd want to do it really well. And because of the fact that I have a career in filmmaking, it's just very hard to do this stuff well and really dedicate something to it. I think that if your core passion is music and that's what you want to do and that's what you're trying to blow up for, then you got to put everything in it. You got to go 100%. But at least at the moment, I can't go 100% with this specific project. I'm just trying to get it out there and do it without dropping my career.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. You know, and as indie artists, I feel like all of us are perfectionists up to a point. You know, some of us more than others, and yeah, we all have our own way of doing something. So are you familiar with Marry One, Fuck One, Kill One? You familiar with that game?
Yes, I've heard of that game.
Okay, fantastic. So I got one of those for you.
Oh, dear.
Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, and Kamala Harris. Go for it, brother. And dig in deep.
Well, we're running into a problem here, Tim, which is that there's a 100% chance that my mom is going to listen to this.
Fantastic.
And I just
Mommy,
don't know that I
cover
can
your
put her
ears.
through trying to answer a question like that.
That's all good, man. Let's raise the heart rate a little bit. Your goddamn music does anyway.
Now, Tim, he can pass. You didn't tell him that you give.
I didn't tell him.
I
tell him. You could say pass. You want to say pass?
I'm going to pass on that one.
All right,
for
final
my mother's
question.
sake, because Tim, I care deeply for my mother.
That's good, man. That's good. You know, I'm sure, you know, she was. Well, we won't get there. We won't go there. I love moms, man. My mom is a retired drill sergeant, actually. No kidding. Yeah, birthdays weren't really.
That sounds
fun,
awesome.
I
I bet.
But you learn to deal with it. So, but yeah, you know, moms. There's a certain thing about moms. I'll tell you that. But I got
Absolutely.
you know, rounding down to the final two questions because you tickled my nipple with that one. That's fine. We'll do a pass. We'll do a pass. So I ask this question a lot in my show, and it gets to a kind of a serious stage, especially in today's day, because it is a touchy topic. And you can answer this question in a certain way. You're very smart. And you could also say pass. If you say pass again,
Okay.
Connor, I'm gonna hold you to it. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So Connor, politics are very, very common today. I'm not just talking about.
They are common.
Yeah, they're very, very prevalent. It's a prevalent issue today. You know, a dumpster fire, if you will. But do you think, do they belong in music, or should they be left out? Do you think there's a spot for them? Or do you think that it should be more censored and more about dancing and having fun and doing your own thing?
I think it's up to the artist what their music should be about. And if you want to make
Freedom
a political
speech.
statement in your song, you know, go for it. That's your thing. I mean, punk really calls back to that a lot.
I agree.
I don't really agree that anybody should or shouldn't put messages like that in their music, because it's art and it's up to you what it's for and what it's supposed to do. And I think it would be weird to put like rules on that or something.
Right. A limit.
Yeah, no.
As an artist, there should be no fucking limit. You know, you just go for it. And whatever you come out with at the end is what you come out with. Last question. And this one's going to be a tough one, or maybe it won't be. I don't know. Whatever. Fuck it.
We'll see.
What is one major thing that you had to get over in your life? This could be like a depressing issue. It could be a problem that you had to solve. It could be anything, but a massive speed bump, if you will, in your life that you had to get over to accomplish a certain goal.
Well, I guess the thing that immediately comes to... actually, you know what? There's a difference here. Are we going for just the worst thing that's ever happened to you? Or just specifically to accomplish a specific goal?
Specifically, the most, I wouldn't say traumatizing, but the most challenging thing, whether it was traumatizing, you know, or not. You know, boot camp for me and going overseas for me was fucking awful. So, you know, that was one thing I had to overcome. So, you know, you know, so take that shock factor and kind of, what do you think in your life that you had to overcome?
I think the most challenging thing for me to overcome in general is my own self-image, and in the sense that I think we all like to believe ourselves to be pretty decent, and we'd like to think that we're all good people who do the right things, and are overall pretty good to the people around us, and fair and reasonable and authentic and all these things. So I think the hardest thing to do is recognize where something that you do perhaps regularly is not in line with that vision of yourself. And it gets harder and harder the older you get, because with every decade that goes by, if you realize something that you've been doing or that you do or that you think is maybe wrong, to accept that is to accept that you've been doing that for a long, long time, and it just gets longer and longer and longer. And I think, now, off in my 20s, anytime I have to change my mind on something or reevaluate the way I go about something, it's really, really hard, because it might be like, but I've been doing that the other way this whole time. So that's hard. And I think it gets harder. But to be honest, it's very unlikely that any of us figured everything out when we were, 15, 16, 17, 18, whenever. It's very likely that we're all set to spend the rest of our lives making adjustments and figuring out who we need to be and who we should be. And if we're going to do a decent job at that, we're going to have to be willing to, no matter how far down the road we are, say, you know what, I've been wrong the whole time, and I got to change that. And I think that ongoing struggle with everything has been the hardest thing for me to overcome.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guarantee a shitload of people listening in the audience right now probably go through the same thing on the daily. Whether, it's sometimes it's like it's disassociating and you're kind of living outside your body, or if it's a self-image,
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Yeah, but it's true. It happens, and
I'm outside my body looking at this guy like, what are you doing, man? Like, don't do that.
Fucking A, dude. Fucking A. But
Yeah.
I will leave you with one little thing from like an EWL standpoint.
Okay.
Because to touch base back on perfection,
Yes.
imperfections in us and our music and our daily lifestyle and the mistakes we make is what makes us unique.
Absolutely.
And in music, it's never going to be perfect. And as indie artists, we want it to always be perfect. But
yes, perfection, my worst enemy.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is it might not be perfect to you. It might just be absolute dog shit to you, but it'll be perfect to someone else's ears. So just always,
Sure.
remember that, dude, your music is awesome, and fucking A, you're killing it in bad analogy, and now you're starting this. It's just fantastic, and I wish you all the best in your film career, and thank you so much for letting me pop in and ask.
Oh, it was a blast.
Brother. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much for letting me take up your time. All right, you guys have a great night, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the show. Connor, keep on rocking in the free world, brother.
Oh, thanks. You too.
Peace.
See you, Tim. Thanks for that. Connor, back to you. Thanks for that. I don't think I've ever heard anyone handle Tim the way you did.
That was amazing.
Yeah, you did good, my friend. Very good.
I think he's great.
Oh, Tim,
that was really fun.
He's
the
got,
source, man.
He's got a heart of gold. He's amazing. He is the reason, actually, and I say this all the time, and I don't know if you've heard this before, but Tim is the reason that this station exists. Yeah. So I watched the Indie Review show. I just come across it one day, earlier this year, or towards the end of last year, and watched his Indie Review show, and he was not interviewing, but he was playing all these different bands, and they were all independent artists, and I'd never heard any of these bands, but he was just so energetic, and he impressed me, and the music impressed me, and I'm like, I really feel like I want to start reaching out to bands, and I did. And as soon as we did, and they started rolling in, and that was like all David and I ever wanted to hear, and started playing on the station we were at previously. And then we just decided it got so big, and we wanted to do our own thing and be our own bosses, that we created our own station, and here we are today. So he's a
that's very interesting.
Huge inspiration, huge mentor for me. I love that guy.
I've got this flashing light in front of me that's Foxxear Unrelated, that's wanting to be played right now. Real quick, Connor, tell us a little bit about that song, and then we'll spin it and let everybody get back to the music.
Well, what would you like to know about that song?
Well, give us a little bit of the meaning behind it. I don't know, any little
the
secret
meaning.
tidbits.
See, the meaning of that one is interesting because, and I'll keep this brief, but I think we all enjoy, or at least I would think that a lot of us enjoy, when a song is something that you can listen to and kind of put your own meaning onto. You know, people are like, oh, this is our song, or this is my song, or this song makes me think about this, or, you know, we give our own meanings to songs all the time. And the funny thing is I personally really enjoy when I can do that. And sometimes what really gets on my nerves is when I have a song that I want to do that with, but then it has something like really specific, like a lyric that's like, oh, you were standing there with your specific hat and your coral blue hair. And it's like, okay, well, I don't really relate to that. So when I was writing Unrelated, I did have a lot of thoughts in mind about it. But I kind of wanted to make the lyrics sort of as generic as possible beyond that meaning, because I would want almost anybody to be able to hear whatever they want in those lyrics. And in a way, it's a better anthem even for myself that way, because kind of what I'm looking forward to is not that I've written this song. Anytime I hear it throughout my life, if I hear one of those lyrics and it resonates with something I'm thinking about or experiencing in the present, I can enjoy that rather than it being about something hyper specific like a lot of songs are.
That's great. That's great. I've kind of heard that interpretation too. Let
yeah,
the
so
listener...
if you're listening
Yes.
to Unrelated and you hear something in the lyrics and you like, I feel like he's talking about this, then you're correct. I am.
I love it. I love it. That's great. All right, man. Well, I think we're going to turn you loose and get to spinning this song.
And keep
All right.
keep,
Well,
keep
it's been awesome to be here. Thank you so much for
keep
having me
those
on the
tunes
show.
coming, Connor. They're awesome. We love what we have. So, and we understand that that everyone and their mother has work and life. So,
Mhm.
you know.
Well, there is more on the way. I've been recording the whole album for this,
Yes.
or I've been
That's
recording
so
all the songs for this album, and it's almost done.
So exciting.
Pretty soon I'll start releasing more singles when I've got content to release them with.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. I recommend everybody go check out the video for Unrelated. Go to YouTube, check it out. It is a great freaking video. And you did it all by yourself. That is an amazing feat. And
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, go check out the Facebook page. Give him some follows and likes and the Spotifys and all that, man. Connor, thanks again for hanging out with us, man. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And thanks for taking the time out with us.
Yeah, thank you. It's been awesome.
Yes, thank you very much, Connor. We love you, and we will talk to you hopefully in Discord after we are done here. But
Yeah,
right now,
I'll be around.
Yeah, hang out with us. So.
enjoy Unrelated by Foxxear.
You wanna laugh, you wanna cry. I wanna live, I wanna die. Want you to look me in the eye. I'm sure you'll tell the truth this time. Or maybe that's a lie. I'm graduated, still gotta try. Oh man, I don't know why. It's always so unrelated. Why? It's always so complicated. They've nothing to say, but they always say it. Are we over there if it's all the same to you? I guess you ran in a room, you haven't seen it through, yeah. I guess you don't wanna do what you wanted me to, yeah. You wanted to be fine.
Foxxear, people. Unrelated. Big
It's
things coming out of
always so
Foxxear.
unrelated. Oh, that's such
Yeah.
a good song.
That one gets you. And what a good video.
Yes, I posted the link in Discord.
Good work. Good work.
I did.
Hell yeah. Thanks again, Connor, for hanging out with us, man. Taking the time out. We know everybody's got a busy schedule. And speaking of schedules, we're moving right along here. We've got the finale to the A&R View.
Yes, we do.